Beautiful and athletic Lisa Berlanga grew up in a tight-knit religious family in Midland, Texas.
A wonderful, sweet, nice person with nice family.
From a young age, Lisa knew two things. One, that she wanted to serve others, and that she was gay. Lisa would eventually find happiness in both areas of her life, enlisting in the U.S. Coast Guard and falling in love with fellow petty officer Anna Trubnikova, her soon-to-be wife. But being gay in the military came with its challenges.
At that time, it was still don't ask, don't tell. So, to a particular degree, they kept the fact hidden.
After serving in California and Louisiana, Lisa is sent to a very different climate, the frozen tundra of Kodiak, Alaska. Her new boss, Adrian Loya.
Adrian Loya grew up in Texas, where he attended high school before enlisting in the Coast Guard as an information technology specialist.
He was a Coast Guardsman through and through. He did a fine job at it.
Lisa and Loya become fast friends.
They did things together, whether it be watching television shows, playing video games.
Even spending a holiday together.
The Thanksgiving before Lisa marries Anna, Lisa invites Adrian to join them at Thanksgiving dinner. So Adrian met the family, broke bread with them, had a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner.
Months later, the happy couple ties the knot. But Anna makes it clear she's not keen on sharing her new wife with Adrian Loya.
Anna couldn't really accept their friendship.
Despite Anna's feelings about Loya, he and Lisa remain co-workers and friends. And one night, while Anna is out of town, Lisa invites Loya over to watch TV and a bit more.
When Loya arrived, he realized that Lisa had been drinking. She made a move on him and tried to kiss him. It made him very uncomfortable. She eventually went into her bedroom and he heard a thump. He went to check on her and she again made a sexual advance at him.
Lisa sits down on the bed and says to her buddy,
"Why don't you come to bed with me, Adrian?" And I believe she even reached out and touched him on the arm. From that point on, he believed that he was sexually assaulted by her.
Sexually assaulted? A misunderstanding, right? Or an awkwardly drunken night between friends? Not for Loya.
A month or two passes and he writes her a long email saying what she had inflicted on him. I believe it was 26 pages. She doesn't immediately respond, but what does he do? He sends the email to poor Anna. Lisa tells Adrian, "Stay away from us. We don't want you anywhere near in our lives."
Adrian takes it even a step further.
He goes to the authorities and tells the Coast Guard investigators of what had transpired that night.
The Coast Guard found that he shouldn't have been in that situation because he was Lisa's superior, and both of them were reprimanded.
Months later, Loya is transferred to a base in Portsmouth, Virginia. Lisa and Anna eventually relocate to near Bourne, Massachusetts. All have gotten on with their lives. Or have they? Turns out, while the women have put Loya in their rearview mirror, Loya's issues surrounding Lisa and the alleged sexual assault seem to be following him into the future.
A disciplinary letter was put in his file. When he transferred to Virginia, his new boss brought up the incident and he felt that it caused him to lose a promotion.
Feeling violated and defamed, Loya is now on a mission, needing to right a wrong, dedicating himself to one thing.
Taking out the evil that had infiltrated his life.
The evil? Lisa Trubnikova.
She must receive her day like he did. He was victimized. It was time for her to be victimized.
Not just victimized, dead.
Revenge was the motivating factor.
United States Coast Guardsman Adrian Loya is out for blood. Lisa Trubnikova's blood.
He wanted Lisa to die, and it was based on the alleged sexual assault.
Loya writes about his obsessive thoughts and feelings about Lisa. It's a blueprint for murder. He calls it Loya Wars.
Loya Wars is a 250-page manifesto describing Loya's relationship with Lisa and why he wanted to kill her.
In the last chapter, entitled Operation Purple Rebel, Loya writes a 13-point plan of how he'll get his revenge. detailing the mission is a basic assassination mission. Confront Lisa any way I can and terminate her. Make sure Lisa knows that is I taking her life and why. This should be very interesting how it actually plays out. I am excited.
The plan that he had written out in his manifesto really started taking shape in that October.
As the autumn leaves are falling, Loya, armed with Lisa and Anna's home address, drives 10 hours from his home in Chesapeake, Virginia, to theirs in Bourne, Massachusetts. He's doing a dry run.
So October, he does reconnaissance. He even set up these cameras outside, hunting cameras, some refer to them as, to verify that the two women lived there.
They do. In one video, Lisa is seen taking their dog out for a walk. And in two others, Lisa and Anna are seen leaving the house together. But for Loya, there's still more to do, including casing the woman's neighborhood, recording it all on video.
He needed to see where he was going to be fighting, his vantage points.
While driving, Loya has a panic attack. He turns the camera around to record it in real time.
All right, Boulevard, side of the road. I'm having a panic attack. I started hyperventilating. I feel paralyzed. I can't move.
Then he pulls over to say more.
It was bad. My whole body was tingling, a weird tingling sensation. I realized I was getting into an accident. I wasn't able to totally control the car anymore. So I slowed down, pulled off the side of the road, turned on the hazards, and then that's when I started the video, because I knew this was big and people need to know about it. I guess also for my record, so I see what happens. I don't know. This helped out a lot. Walk out. It's really pretty out here. Fucking gorgeous this time of year. I'm gonna start heading to the car. So yeah, this is for myself. This is for the investigators. No more secrets like this. Thank you for listening.
Loya goes home after that, but just 4 months later, he's back in Bourne, ready to carry out his savage mission. Loya Wars will come to fruition. The day he's chosen, his 31st birthday. But first, under cover of darkness, Loya sets up a camera again. He needs confirmation Lisa and Anna are home. Then hours later,
he took the camera down, went out to his car, played it on his laptop, verified they were in the home.
Lisa and Anna are there, oblivious to what's happening right outside their door, oblivious to the horror that's about to come. It's now 2 a.m. Loya is prepared for battle.
He was dressed in black tactical gear with a mask over his face.
First, he employs several diversionary tactics, starting with a fire.
Loya set his car on fire to block the entry to the condominium complex.
So now the car is on fire. He sets up the boom box or a stereo system outside of the vehicle.
The music playing the theme from Star Wars.
Remember, this was good against evil.
Loya is just getting started.
Next to that, he made what it appeared to be an explosive device. And with a cell phone connected, he sets up another device a bit up the road.
As the neighborhood sleeps, a nightmare is unfolding.
He is now advancing on the condominium.
As Loya walks down the snowy street, he's armed with 4 guns, a knife, and 2 pair of handcuffs. And he's wearing a body cam. Loya wants everything that's about to happen recorded. He places a .22 caliber rifle in the snowbanks near the house. Then he walks up to Lisa and Anna's front door. 2 shots are fired. The door is breached.
He made his way in, and there's no lights on. He went up the stairs
and bursts into Lisa and Anna's bedroom. Moments later, multiple shots are fired. Then there's silence. A warning, what you're about to hear is incredibly graphic.
911, this line is recorded. We all want Where are you?
I love you. Please help! are both shot.
Do you know who shot you?
Yes. His last name is Loya. He shot both of us, me and my wife.
What?
His last name is Loya.
Is he related to you?
No, he's from the Coast Guard.
He's in the Coast Guard?
Yes.
Ma'am. Okay, we got a report of a gunshot victim. 2 of them and a female on the phone is passing out. Unknown on the male. Last name is Lawyer.
Is there anything on the gunman?
Negative. Just the name. And Lawyer, the one who shot you, where's he at?
I don't know. Why are you taking so long?
We're on our way there, ma'am. We're right down the street. There's a car fire there. We got to move the car out of the way to get to you.
Please hurry up.
We're right down the street, ma'am. We're on the road right now.
Seriously.
13 long minutes into the call,
The male that shot you, he's not in the house, is he?
All right, tell me about him. What does he look like?
Stop making me talk.
Where's he from? Yeah, we're coming as fast as we can get there.
then the terrifying sounds of gunfire. Heavily armed U.S. Coast Guardsman Adrian Loya is carrying out his mission to kill. He's just burst into married fellow officers Lisa and Anna Trubnikova's house, shooting them both.
Is he still in the house?
I don't know.
Ma'am, what's your last name? Can you spell it for me?
T-R-U-B-N-I-K-O-A. Please hurry.
And your first name, ma'am?
Anna,
Okay. Anna, we're right there. We're going to be right there.
can you please hurry?
Again, a warning. You're about to hear graphic details as Anna lies shot in the house. She's been on the phone with 911 for almost 20 minutes, desperate for help to arrive.
Please.
We're coming, all right?
Please not.
Yes, we are.
Please.
Not far away from Anna and Lisa is born police patrolman Jared McDonald. But with Loya's whereabouts unknown, getting to the women is hard.
I really had no idea where a shooter was.
Be advised, we just had somebody run towards your location from the back of this building. Be advised, from here towards you.
I was concerned of an ambush.
Then, moments later,
I hear shots. I hear gunshots.
Shots fired, I've been shot.
that's Officer McDonald on the radio, telling his fellow officers he's been hit.
I knew I had been shot almost instantaneously. I heard the gunshots. I recognized the sound. For a split second, I lost track of everything, but regained it quickly enough that I felt myself hit the ground. My right leg didn't work at all. I had this strange feeling throughout my body. So as quickly as possible, I pulled myself with my hands back behind the car for cover.
Anna, are you still there?
Yes, please.
Okay, hang on.
I'm breathing.
Hang on. We got shots fired. No, one of our guys got hit. Jared got shot.
Once the shooting stopped, I remember trying to process everything and remembering how quiet everything was.
In the silence, McDonald holsters his gun. But Officer Andrew Lieberworth, who has taken cover next to him, says,
Take your gun back out. You're still in the battle. It's not over.
by now, Anna has been on the phone an excruciating 36 minutes.
Anna, where's Lisa? She's right next to you? Where is she shot?
Lisa Trubnikova, Loya's original target, has been shot 11 times and is dead. And Anna is fighting for her life, lying next to her wife's bullet-riddled body. She's petrified Loya will return to finish the job.
Can you come back? You might come back for me, please.
He's not going to come back to it. We have plenty of officers in the area.
Then, just minutes later, Adrian Loya appears.
He came walking down, and that's when I heard them giving him commands.
Loya lays his guns and body camera down and surrenders.
That's when they were able to take him into custody.
Okay. Okay, they have him in custody now, ma'am.
Are you
Now
sure?
hang on the line. Don't hang on one
Are
second.
you sure?
Positive, they just told me.
The rescue missions can resume. Officer Nathan Montero jumps in to get his comrade to safety.
He just immediately grabbed me and put me over his shoulder and ran up to the ambulance.
Police are now just steps away from Anna, who's been on the phone with 911 for an unimaginable 53 minutes. Her condition getting more dire by the second.
I can't breathe.
Anna. Anna, keep talking to me.
I need somebody.
Then, just in time after 56 minutes, help arrives.
I hear
They're coming.
people.
They're coming in now.
I hear people.
Okay. Are the police in the room with you?
Yes.
Any units at 11? Do you have the victims? You have one victim that needs attention, one that does not. All right, 10-4. Okay, State, they have her.
Anna Trubnikova and Officer McDonald are rushed to the hospital. Anna has been shot 4 times.
Anna was shot in both arms, her thigh, and her chest.
Officer McDonald has been shot once in the back.
The round struck just below my vest, right next to my spine. It struck my kidney and my liver and stopped just under my skin in my stomach.
When Officer McDonald's wife, Carrie, learns he's been shot, she's stunned.
I remember grabbing my knees and kind of crouching down a little bit to catch my breath. I then went into my mode of, okay, I needed to keep it together for my kids. I need to keep it together for Jared.
Carrie rushes to the hospital where she sees her husband. He'll be okay. Then a couple of hours later, she sees Anna.
She told me she was sorry, and I told her she had nothing to be sorry about because this wasn't her fault.
As Anna and Officer McDonald are being treated for their wounds, Adrian Loya is at the police department. And he's not only ready to talk, he's willing.
I just want to let you guys all know, I'm not going to lie at any point. I'm going to tell all the truth.
Okay.
So I can go through point to point to point to point.
Yeah.
So I know I'm already a dead man and all this stuff.
Do you have an idea of what you did tonight?
Yes, sir.
And what was it that you did?
I murdered a woman.
And the way that you were going to murder her was how?
The initial plan was to do the breach with the shotgun. And through that, during the middle of the night, that should scare them, provide the fear that I had during that night at her house. And then go up there. I didn't want to touch Anna at all. And I considered total innocent. I had a knife on me, on the belt, and I wanted to use that to do some kind of quick. I didn't want anything gruesome, but as far as I knew, be straight to the heart.
So you were going to take the knife and put it into her chest?
Correct.
And you just said put it into her heart?
Correct.
Okay.
But that didn't happen.
Okay. What did happen?
Adrian Loya is about to tell Bourne police what really happened after he entered the door to Lisa and Anna Trubnikova's house. The endgame to his sadistic scheme detailed in his manifesto, Loya Wars.
What happened once you stepped inside?
I went up the stairs to my right. I knew that's where her bedroom would be.
Loya knew which bedroom because during his meticulous preparation, he found a real estate website which showed the exact layout of their place. Loya says on the landing outside their room,
The cat actually kind of a big cat. The cat came and pounced on me, and that's when I opened the door to the room and they were there.
What happened when you opened the door up to the bedroom?
I yelled how you guys would yell, get down, face down, and hands up.
Okay, and what did they do?
They screamed and did not comply.
Loya says he ripped the sheets off Lisa and Anna and told them to separate.
And then what happened?
They wanted to know who this was, who's this thief trying to steal stuff, but then I had a mask on, pulled it off. Lisa said my name. She asked me why I was there. I told her why.
And what did you say to her?
I told her, here I am because of what you did to me 2 years ago when you raped me. Even though it's not a physical rape, it was the, basically a rape of the mind from a sexual attack.
Okay. And then what happened?
She just kept saying, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I told her you had over 2 years to say you're sorry.
After that, he says he turned around for a moment.
That's when they threw the mattress up.
Okay.
What was your thought process then?
I had to complete the mission, which was terminate Lisa.
You discharged a firearm?
Correct.
And where did you discharge it to?
In the direction that I knew Lisa was underneath the mattress.
Okay. And did the discharge of the firearm? Did it strike her?
I heard the gurgling noises.
And what was Anna saying during this time?
I don't think it was words, it was just screams.
Anna had been shot too. After completing his mission inside, he says he went outside to finish his Loya Wars plan, to engage in a firefight with officers only and keep fighting until I am stopped. But there was something he hadn't counted on. Bourne police never fired one shot.
How do you feel right now about everything?
I didn't see the immediate aftermath. I just know I took a life, but it was a life I wanted to take. The job's done.
Adrian Loya is arrested and charged with 30 counts, including murder. Drew Segadelli agreed to represent him. In one of Segadelli's many meetings with his client, he learns tragically there was something that almost prevented that deadly day.
There was a Star Wars movie about to come out, and he actually had second thoughts about committing this crime so he could see the new movie.
After his arrest, police get a warrant to search Loya's Virginia home. They need to proceed cautiously. Even though the explosive devices he placed near his burning car turned out to be hoaxes, cops can't be too sure. And it turns out Loya was expecting them.
The place was essentially bare. He had spread oil on the floor, oil on the handrails to the stairs upstairs, and oil on the stairs, so one would slip.
2.5 years later, the case goes to trial.
This wasn't a, quote, whodunit. Simply wasn't. So how else do you explain it? How do you explain a man who has no criminal record, who is not a bad guy, to commit such a heinous, awful act?
Loya's defense? Not guilty by reason of mental defect.
All of the mental health experts agreed that Loya suffered from some kind of mental health defect. They didn't agree on what defect, and they also didn't agree that the defect interfered with his ability to conform with the law.
On day 6 of the trial, an emotional Anna Trebnikova takes the stand. She describes in detail the horror of being awakened by an armed intruder and the moment that madman revealed his identity.
Because Lisa kept asking, who are you and what do you want? He did take the mask off.
And did you recognize who it was at that point?
I did, because she yelled out his name in shock.
Who was it?
It was Adrian Loya.
What's the next thing that happened?
He mostly spoke to her. He's like, see what you've done to me. You're making me do this. This is what I've become, type of, because of you. And she was asking, what did I do? Sorry. And he said, it's too late.
Anna says Loya fired one shot, then...
Maybe seconds afterwards, there were more shots. I knew they weren't at me. I didn't feel it yet. The sound also went to my left. And at some point there were more shots, and then I finally felt getting shot myself. At some point the shot ceased. I figured we only have seconds to live. I turned to Lisa, I love you, to which she responded, I love you too.
Love you, I love you.
And right after that, I heard a lot of gushing blood, gurgling almost. She started choking, exhaled, and for myself, knew that she was dead at that point.
Then Anna says, in the darkness, she heard a voice.
I was laying there after I figured she died, so I'm next. I heard a man saying 911, what's your emergency? I realized that at some point she must have dialed 911, and perhaps the phone was on the whole time.
That call to 911, placed by Lisa, would end up saving Anna's life. Crime Watch Daily reached out to Anna Trebnikova. Her mother told us Anna's not doing interviews. She's trying to put this tragedy behind her. Just Just before the case goes to the jury, and while lawyers are having a sidebar with the judge, Adrian Loya does something shocking, and once again his actions are all caught on camera.
He looked at the jurors and said, "I am guilty." I was never so upset. I told him, do not sabotage this defense.
The judge wasn't happy either.
Mr. Loya, behavior of the sort that I have seen on the film clip is absolutely inappropriate. If there is any repeat conduct on your part, I will consider removing you from the trial process.
After 2 weeks of testimony and 3 days of deliberations, the jury comes back with a verdict.
Guilty first-degree murder.
Adrian Loya was sentenced to life in prison without parole on the first-degree murder charge. He was also convicted on firearms charges, assault charges, burglary, and many others.
Mr. Loya, what do you say to the victim's family?
I'm very, very sorry.
He knows what he did. He doesn't necessarily see it as criminal or bad. He was avenging the evil that was brought upon him, and that's how he justifies it in his mind.
Many have been deeply affected by Adrian Loya's sick obsession and his barbaric acts that day. Carrie McDonald says her husband, Officer Jared McDonald's life is forever changed.
I get a little emotional about it, so. He's had so much taken away from him.
McDonald, who's now retired from the police department, still suffers from severe pain and nerve damage. He now has a service dog, Bullet, who helps him get around. And as McDonald struggles every day, a poignant moment he shared in the hospital with Lisa's devastated family will stay with him forever.
A very sweet family, a very loving family. When Lisa's mom hugged me, I wasn't quite sure that she was going to let go. You could just feel her heart was broken.